This video covers our most powerful data management component to date. It's patent pending, and the features that you see are generated by both custom JavaScript that we wrote in addition to our patent pending code generator that virtually provides almost everything that you're going to see in this overview in a matter of a few minutes. All the code is there. The code generator produces several files in a matter of a couple of seconds. All that's required, and I have another video that describes it, but all that's required is to select your database, select the table that you want to manage, and then select the type of database grid component that you want to create. You specify the class name, the dataset name. You pick your output path where you want the files to be created, and then you click 8 buttons. And as fast as you can click those 8 buttons, your files are created. And so what we're looking here in this view is the files. There's 6 files that are created for the user searches filter, which I'll be showing you in a moment. There's 6 files that are created for the addresses table that I'll also be showing you in a moment. And then there's another control that is duplicated across the board on the portal, and so once you know how to do it once, you can copy and paste and create them incredibly fast. There's 2 different controls here for this component that get created. There's some properties, as you can see, that get set. The user filter is a selector style control, so you can see that the select view property is set. The data field select name needs to be set, and another key property for the target grid is that these two match up. So when you select an item in the user filter, you want to make sure that the primary foreign key relationship is created, and that's essentially what you have here. And those 2 controls are loaded into a panel, and that's all there is to this. And when I say all that there is to this, that's all that is required to generate literally hundreds and hundreds of lines of .NET code that is fully customizable and written in standard .NET code, which means that your developers can take away from it, they can add to it, they can do whatever they want with the code. And it works perfectly in its default settings for the vast majority of cases, but your business rules are likely to vary like anyone else's, and you have full capabilities to do that with this framework. Okay, the next thing that I'd like to show you is the component itself. I'll log in, and then we'll navigate to the user addresses table. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate down to that, and while that's loading, I'm going to take a look at the database schema that defines what we're about to manage. I've got a table that consists right now, at least for me, hundreds of users. I've got an address table that's a factor of that in multiplicity. There's a countries table, there's an address types table, billing, mailing, and shipping, and then state or provinces table. So this is a very common pattern that's followed in databases. And the question is, how do you manage that in an incredibly fast, efficient user interface? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and contract this filter bar. So you can see here's the user search grid filter. Here, there's the address grid filter. There's 2 help bars. There's the grids themselves. So just to go back to the schema again to remind ourselves, we've got table addresses and table users. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to filter on my account, submit that, and this is fully Ajax driven, so you can see the grid was re-rendered, but the rest of the page was not, and that not only is it incredibly fast, but it's very resource efficient for both the database server, web server, as well as your network. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select that row. Okay, so the nice thing is that for a data operator, if they get a call from a customer and a customer says, well, I'm having some issues with my addresses, can you please help me? I just can't figure this out. I didn't, have my coffee today. Whatever the case may be. The data operator can very quickly, as you saw, it's just a matter of following the menu, and they're having the role access to do that, but they're able to navigate then down to this page, and then they can help your customers. So in this case, I'm the customer, and I'm wondering, okay, well, my billing address, I'm having difficulty with that, and I could have, let's say that I've been with this place for with your company for 10-15 years, and I've had several shipping addresses, several billing and mailing addresses, so there could be quite a few more rows of data in this table. But what I want to show is that these filters are very powerful, and they work together without error. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to filter on just the billing address. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to submit that and contract it. And again, as you can see, this is fully Ajax driven, so the only portion of the page that was affected was the region, and you get the same efficiencies as mentioned earlier. So here I've filtered on billing address, and I'm in the view mode, so you can see here the data that's there. This built into this, there's both a presentation layer, there's a business logic layer, and then as part of the framework there's an extremely powerful data access layer that works in combination with Visual Studio to make incredibly rapid development of your object mapping between your database and the rest of your application. There's a group, an organization out there that have a specification and application called Hibernate, and one of the things that I noted with that is that a very large chunk of what's required for your object mapping, you have to go through and create a lot of those objects yourself. And using Microsoft.NET Visual Studio and their visual design capabilities for fully typed data sets, you can manage your fully typed objects in your database incredibly fast. I have another video that shows how to do that. The nice thing is that my framework works flawlessly with some of the most powerful features that Microsoft has come out on the object mapping capabilities between your database and an application. At any rate, back to this this data component. Now notice the two filters work perfectly together. I can go in and I can manage the data. The filters work the entire time. They don't get confused. I can go ahead and I can try to insert an address, and I'm going to get a unique constraint violation, because if I attempt to clone an existing record and insert that, obviously you don't want to permit your data operator to do that, and so it does check on that. Now if you want them to be able to do it, you can do that. All that you do is you go into the code that's generated, and you just merely change the business rule associated with it, and it's extremely easy and straightforward to do. I have another video that covers that. The next thing, if I want to add truly unique record, let's say that I called up and I'm talking to the data operator, and I say, well, can you change my billing address, just change it from North Drive to let's see, we'll call it Northeast Drive. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and submit that for this account, and you can see it's fully Ajax driven, and the data is there, and it's fast and it works. I'm going to go ahead to the edit data. I'm going to, let's say that I said, oh no, it's not Northeast Drive, it's Northeast Street, and there is actually a drive in my town, and I don't want that to be confused. And let's say that I no longer have a unit number either. And so what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to create a new record for the client. Now in the business rule that I have set up for my portal is that all addresses are inserted, and the reason for that is that if a member goes in and they modify their billing address, and there's already been mailings that have been sent out to an existing billing address, I don't want them to be able to update that and then impact other records. So my business requirement and rule is that there actually are no edits. All edits become inserts. So you can see that that record is created. Now at this point, the data operator would have the ability to delete the billing address, and obviously the user that has just basic role properties, more than likely their user interface, they won't even have the access to see multiple billing addresses. They're just going to see the most recent billing address that they have available to them. That's a common pattern, and if you choose to do that, you can, but you can see the complete history is maintained. So if you want to have additional features, you merely code it in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, this Northeast Street, we'll leave that. The one that they corrected me on in the second time, I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. And there's a prompt. You have a choice to cancel, but I'm not going to do that. Now the power of this framework is that there's a delete switch for every single table. So the data operator doesn't actually, they delete it, it's no longer viewable to them, but it would actually be someone at a much higher role, like a DBA, that would actually have the full power to delete something, and typically they're going to do some backups and things before they would even do that, depending on the importance of the data. But it has that additional check and feature in the system. Now I hope you appreciate the power of this in a number of ways. Let's say that you've got orders and order items. You could have orders in the top grid, and they could be used as a selector for order items shown in the bottom grid. You could have a case manager component where the top grid is your cases and the bottom grid are the case details. So this can be used in countless scenarios in an application. You can see that in this type of pattern, it's something that's extremely common, and this component makes it very, very easy to accomplish that. And you saw from the code files that I showed you that the code generator generates everything for you. And again, I have another video that covers that in detail. Well, I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and please take a look at the other videos on our site. Thank you.